So Wednesday, during that snowstorm thing that we got Wednesday morning, it dumped enough snow, and I was going to snow blow when I got home with this. And the snowblower wasn't working because by the time I got home about 4 o'clock, the snow had gotten real heavy and wet because the temperature had started to rise, and the snowblower just started plugging up really bad. So I parked it up by the house because I was going to check something on it when I was done. It made a weird noise when it was starting up, and I wanted to see what was going on, and didn't really think nothing of it until I shut it off and realized the starter motor was running after I shut the engine off. And the starter motor must have been running the entire time I was out trying to snowblow with it, maybe half an hour or so. And these starter motors, you're not supposed to run them for more than 1 minute at a time. So what had happened is the solenoid right here had failed. You can hear something loose in there. I think that there's something that failed. I don't know, spring must have rusted out or something. But last summer I parted out a case like this, just a little bit later one, and it had this solenoid mounted on the dash, or the firewall, which is right here. The only difference is this one has holes in the firewall for wires to pass through, where this firewall, the wire just runs around the outside of the firewall. So the problem with this is this solenoid, the terminals stick out a little further, and the wires get pulled really tight, so I'm going to have to either make a longer wire or install that firewall, which is pretty rusty. And because it pulled up a lot of slack, I couldn't use the original starter wire right here because it's tied to some other wires at the moment. But I ended up disconnecting the starter right here because I couldn't get the battery terminals disconnected to shut it off. Because the starter motor, I couldn't get it to shut off. Sparks flying and everything. It's pretty weird. So this has different terminals on it. This has like the pin style terminals, where the original right here had the I terminals. So I'm going to have to either find the right solenoid for this tractor, or I'm going to have to convert it over to this style. So right now I've just got it jury-rigged up with some alligator clips and stuff, and I'll open the door and show you how it works. It's well below freezing outside right now. It's actually in the 20s outside, and this being up in the garage right here, it stayed a little warmer, so the engine right now is sitting at 50 degrees on the engine head where I have the probe. Okay, I can move it around, touch it, and then pretty much holding it at 50. Okay. So it's cold. Now what I have to do is, I already took the nut off and put it right there, is I just gotta take this wire, which it barely reaches. I'm either gonna have to make a longer wire or just switch it over, I don't know. Okay, and here's our fuel pump, because the original inside the carburetor failed. Let's just see if it will start. And the starter motor, amazingly, still works. For now, anyways. I'm not going to bother putting the nut on it because I'm just testing it like this for now. So it will spark a little bit. I guess I flooded it. And the starter motor is not running right now. Yay! So, I think I just choked it a little too much. Usually this thing likes choke when it's cold. Because the carburetor's in the middle underneath this, and then you got the long manifold here, so it doesn't start up as quick as the colors do. But, whew, it's cold in here. Lucky I had that sitting around, because that fixed it right now. I just gotta make some modifications and that might work. Fit right on to the same spot. So, good enough for now.